She's the one stopping me because in our nature, where we come from, we want to spend and show that we've made
money,
it. I bought a car, a sports car that I didn't need.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unplugged. I'm sitting here with 3 captains and we're at PDL, and I'd be remiss, you know, if I didn't ask them about leadership within the captaincy. So I want to start with you, Osmo, you know? Yeah.
Why me? Okay.
Because you are the queen of the day.
Okay, let me be the queen then.
Yes. So, you know, when you come into sport, leadership is one of those things where you have to attain it. You have to, first of all, get yourself to that position. And then you have a whole team that's behind you, that you're leading. What does leadership mean at that captaincy level?
I think the biggest thing starts with me. Like if I can't lead myself and I don't understand who I am and what whatever in a situation for, I can't lead a group. So I think even going to a Spa Proteas leadership side was more to understand who Bongi was and not leaving the roots of myself, because that was based with so much more in terms of respect, in terms of, you know, the character. You know, when you grow up in Hammersdale, I'm guessing in the township, you are guided by adults that actually have so much values that will continue to guide you in your leadership. But obviously, you still add what you want to add. So I really just took that and I went on into leadership role, understanding who I am and fitting that into respecting everyone that I see and actually trying to be as general as I can be in terms of my approach. But it's also just really believing that you are good enough and that you'll be able to do it. Sometimes as leaders, in terms of myself being a woman and also, you know, being a black leader in that matter, we can easily just pull ourselves back thinking we're not good enough. And I was really privileged up until today to understand my capabilities and trust that I'm sitting in a leadership role, not because of my skin color, because of who I am, but because I'm capable of leading the side. So I really just enjoy that part. But yeah, for me, it's just basically a respect and focus on actually ensuring that the space you're in is moving together. You can't have people moving in separate ways.
I love that. Malome Shaba, you had the pleasure of captaining Chiefs and captaining our national side, Bafana Bafana. Would you say your leadership skills were similar, or did you adapt different methods when you were doing it on a national level and when you were doing it on a club level?
Yeah, firstly, you know, being chosen as a leader is such an honor. It's a great and big responsibility because you don't pick yourself. You're being picked. And that really shows that, you know, some people see something in you, and there's obviously added pressure as well. You have to lead the guys in so many ways. We lead differently. You know, I prefer to lead through action and also be approachable, be open, learn as well. You know, it's not a one-way thing. You know, you also get feedback. You also learn. You also assist where you possibly can. And when I say it's a big responsibility, you do not only focus on yourself, you do not only focus on your responsibilities on the field of play. You become a link between the players, the management. You get an opportunity to sit down with those that rank high in the hierarchy, you know, make certain decisions, sometimes not good ones, but the most important thing is to make the decisions and be decisive. So it's a great a platform that molds you as a person, and not only on the field, off the field. When you're home, you're still a leader. When
in your community,
you're still a leader. You know, and you become a voice for the voiceless.
Malome Siya, how do you answer that call? Like, they call on you. They say, we now want you to lead the team. We want you to lead the squad. What goes through your mind? Like, are you ready?
Yeah.
Is it something you're willing to tackle at that time?
Yeah.
And then from where you grew up, right? Where did you get your leadership qualities from? Where did you draw those values and those principles of leadership? And how were you able to apply those?
No, when I first got the leadership role, I first got it in my club at the Stormers. it's something that I never saw myself as a leader before. I never thought I would be in that position, you know. And it's something that I grew into it. I grew into it, but I didn't lose who I am.
Yeah.
I actually became more of myself,
Yeah.
and it's how I grew up. A lot of the principles and the values that I have is through that, you know. But I think the most important thing is I grew with people around me, the guys in my team, the other leaders in the team. I grew with them. Like I took learnings from all of them, but they helped me a lot. Like without them, I wouldn't be the kind of leader that I am today, because I learned, but I also learned to understand that I don't know everything and I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But there are others around me who know the answers. It's basically knowing that the team is number one before my leadership. But I'm not more important than the team. If somebody else knows something that I don't know, then they speak and take that, because it's not about me, it's about the team. I think I've learned that has been good, but also the person that put me in leadership, which was Coach at the Stormers was Flecky, and then the Coach Rusty at the Springbok.
Yes.
Coach Rusty built a system that could help me, because he understood at the beginning it probably gonna be too much. And also like,
it's a daunting task.
yeah, being the first black captain, I mean the doubts in my head.
Yeah.
Am I good enough? Am I capable? Can I make it? Should I be here? You know, all those things that some people say from the outside, and their own things that go into your head. All those doubts, you know, make it a little bit hard. But then he built a support system with the other players that helped me, that I didn't have to take all the responsibility. But one thing I think, I'm good with people, communicating, and like you said, like leading by example. I like to play well, not just to talk it.
You back it up.
100%. And then the other thing is that I'm an amazing follower. I'm good. I can be in the place of leadership, but if she speaks and she says, as a leader, while I'm a leader, she says, no, we need to do this, I'll follow. And I'll do.
You're not a
stuff.
draconian.
Yeah.
You're not
No.
the Kalista Tulosam.
No, I'm not that kind of guy. No.
And Shaba, you mentioned that leadership spills over into other aspects of your life, right? So when it comes to family, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to the foundations that you work for, how would you say leadership on the ground or on the sporting field has influenced how you lead your household, how you lead your families, how you lead your businesses and other ventures that you work in?
Yeah, I think for me, it's what I say, like it's shared leadership.
Yeah.
Me and my wife shared. We are equal.
I like that.
You know, there's things that she's good at that I'm not good at. There's things that I'm good at that she's not good at, and we work together as a team. It's the same as in my team. There are things that I'm very good at, but there are other teams, technical stuff that my teammates are very good at. So we work together, you know, in the house towards that and leading, you know, the home.
So there's an element of honesty in leadership where you have to admit you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
You know, where you also have to admit I can't just do it by myself. I need help.
Or even to say, like, for instance, sometimes you just don't have a good game. And if you are a leader, you're actually able to say, you know, and I remember I've done this a couple of times, I'll be able to say, I think put so and so on instead of me. And because at some stage you just keep thinking, this has to be about the group and the performance, you know, and the results, not just about the person that I am. And if I look after the team itself, I shouldn't really at some point be selfish about what I'm doing. But I like how you ask about the leadership even back at home with your family and stuff. And, you know, you get put into a position in sports where you now become a leader. And indirectly, at home, they see you as a leader as well. Yeah. So there's a few times where you're sitting, let's say in family meetings, just random ones, and you can see everyone just expecting you answers, you know? Indirectly so. So it's actually really...
Not at my house.
I think maybe it's because at home we
just a contributor.
I do my part. Then I do this. Yeah,
That's right.
It's true.
And I think because we were,
From that, you know, once you become a breadwinner,
They're looking at you,
and oftentimes, you know, even the elders, they're even afraid.
They call you they give you that respect.
So
right? So it also challenges you to be a good person.
Yes,
And if you're a leader, yes, you are the one that's chosen, but you can't be an I
Don't let
person.
it go
You must
into
always be
your...
we.
Yeah.
We,
I agree.
not me,
Yeah.
me, me, me.
That
me.
is true.
You must be selfless.
Yeah.
Taking it to the game as well. Even when you are not having a good game, you must still show up.
That's
you know,
true.
your peers are not having a good game. You must be there for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Motivate them. That's a leader, and a leader is also someone that is teachable. You know, you can't be right
All the time.
That's
100%.
true.
You acknowledge when things don't go well.
Yeah.
You raise your hand.
That's
You
a
take
true.
responsibility. When things go well for others, you step
You
back.
clap.
Yeah.
You clap for
Yeah.
them. So that's how I define leadership.
Yeah, but I think it's a very powerful point for like in the black community
Yeah.
where you make it and you become something and you're becoming the head, the provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to find people that are gonna be able to check on you and keep you accountable.
Keep you in
and
check,
bring
keep
you
you
back.
accountable, yes.
Because
Exactly.
when you get that kind of power, it's not good for
No.
for anyone.
overwhelming.
That's
Yeah,
true.
So-
it's too much. Yeah.
I like that you brought that up because I want to know what happens, right? Because you started your journey just playing soccer because you love playing soccer.
Yeah.
You were brought into netball by chance.
Yeah.
When are you
No.
Chance.
You were apparently.
Who brought you a chance to rap?
Yes.
So apparently, Bokara,
Okay.
you found your way in netball. Siya, you never thought you were gonna be a rugby
I
player.
played soccer.
Right?
Yeah.
Goalkeeper.
But your potris was too big.
Rambaloi. Being David 10, bruh.
So you venture in the sporting journey and then you become what I'd like to call sporting superstars, right? How did the world around you help you prepare for that? Were you prepared for the stardom that came at you? And what did you do to make sure that it didn't go all to your head?
No, I wasn't
For
prepared.
me, what helped me was discipline. You know, and I also had to so many times resist temptations.
Yep.
And because it's overwhelming. I mean, you grew up in a family where, say, average, some poor families, no one is employed, and then all of a sudden you become the first person to earn 10,000, which is a lot of money.
lot of money, yeah.
Right?
For family, yeah.
Whether you like it or not, there's also that uncomfortable topic, the black tax.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
You can't run away from
That's
that.
true.
Yes.
You know, you must try and renovate the house, make
Yeah.
it look nice,
Of course.
pay school fees for cousins or
Yep. Yeah.
siblings, and then also take care of your image. Remember, now you're a public figure. Now
Yes.
you want people to see you looking presentable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you get absorbed in that world as well of trying to fit in. You know, trying to
You have to
show
dress a
people-
certain way.
Yes.
You have
Now
to drive a
this
certain car.
as well.
You have to moisturize
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
dress.
So now you, so now you end up living beyond your means.
True.
You know, and that's a call. That's a call for mentorship. That's a call for education, not a formal education. So that's.
Siya, focus.
He's not fine, this guy. He is not okay.
Siya's not okay, guys.
Yeah,
This
man.
guy is not okay.
There was no need for that. There's no need for that. You were going so well, and I heard it late.
You should have kept quiet.
But he's been doing this like all day long. He's been spoiling.
Just buy him.
Am I correct?
Get out of the program. Just buy him.
Family members will call you out.
Oh, Kwamile.
Hey, send Mali, please. Package up stone. We are watching you here play. I'm a threat, a great.
Mileage for some stone.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I apologize on Siya's behalf.
Yes.
Oh God. So it's a very serious problem.
Yeah.
That's why, let's say 80% of mostly footballers, you know,
Yeah.
they start from humble beginning, they make it,
Yeah.
and then when they
They go
retire, they struggle, then they become like a stat.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the problems that cause
That's true.
that. You know, your financial planning, and you get 1,000 people advising you. Some they just advise you. They don't even have the knowledge.
That's true.
So they were picking
They don't
the
have the
right
money.
people.
Yeah.
Have the
But they're
mentors.
telling you what to
yes,
do
they
with
just
yours.
say, Beggy man.
Yeah.
Then what? Beggy
But
man.
you know why
What's
it
gonna
was hard
happen?
for me? Because you can't. I couldn't get that kind of advice from my dad, from my uncle.
Yeah.
They never had the kind of money
So who did you
that
have to
we
see
earning.
for
No,
that
I
kind of
drank. I fell into all the temptation. I made all the bad choices until I got to a certain age where when I was Rachel, then I started to make decisions. Rachel was pregnant, then I started investing and doing. She's the one stopping me because in our nature, where we come from, we want to spend and show that we
you have
made
money,
it.
you well off.
I bought a car, a sports car that I didn't need. Then I bought another one after. I didn't have a house. I had the
You
sports
had
car.
2 sports cars and you
No,
didn't have a
no,
home,
like
so
I sell that one and then I bring another one.
Yes.
It cost me so much. I only finished that car a couple of years ago. Think about that for that long period of time.
and you hadn't invested in property.
Yeah,
Nothing.
no. Then obviously, eventually, I bought a house and all of that kind of stuff. But all that our families want is the black tax. They just need the money for the food and what they need. What you do with your money, because they can't
don't
advise
care.
you. Because how can they advise
true.
you if they've never seen that kind
That's
of money?
so true.
So that's why I think in our sports, like we have that in rugby now. We have like my players,
Financial.
they look after us. Like you can study, they pay for your studies, you can play rugby and study. And then there's people that walk in and come and advise you to invest in different places and they show you different things. And you have to, a percentage of your money has to go into like a retirement fund.
Yes.
You know, you can put up
Yeah.
to 15% of your salary and it's taken before it's taxed, which is good. So we need good people that are gonna advise in that direction,
Yes.
you know, because for me, man, if I
Informed.
didn't meet, you know, like my wife and these people that I met along the way, I would have became a stud.
That's so
I
true.
would
It's
have
about,
became a
it's about
stud.
making sure we have those infrastructures in
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
We've learned from the mistakes of past generation, right?
Yeah.
We've taken the good, but we've also learned from the bad. And it's our responsibility, it's our generation's responsibility to take those lessons and learn from them and do it better for
And not
ourselves
go
and the next
through
generation.
them first, not to go through them first, because that's the fine line. Like we can sit here and we can teach as much based on our experiences, but if you're still going to take it and go through it first, then there's no learning in that process. And once we're talking about this, I just know at home, I obviously grew up, played netball at the national side, and Dad was no more. He passed on a couple of years ago. And I know that I played the sports first in the beginning, more to be able to give back at home, because I just thought every cent I get, even if it was 1,000 rands at that time, in my head I would keep thinking my mom is at home alone, and she's the one who looks after 8 kids that my dad has left, obviously with her. So it was more to think of how can I support now that I've got the sports paying me 1,000 rands or 1,500 for transport, because back then we didn't have that much money. How can I take this and go back home and help? I think that's actually really kept me, grounded in a sense. It made me want to work so hard because I knew if I train hard and I'm really at a top performance in terms of my fitness testing, which counted, when you want to make the team, in terms of my skills, I'll probably make a national side even one more step higher, which will give me money, and not just for me, and I'll be able to take it back home. Then that drive ended up, giving me a sense of I love the sport. And after loving the sport, I realized who led me into who I am today. My first netball coach was just a high school teacher. If I never had that guy until today, I know I would never have been the Bongi I am. Then the love of my projects, having to start a project where I don't want kids to not play the sport because they can't pay. Because that guy, actually, my teacher, took everything financially, to support me. So I think it also started with how you grew up, the challenges you've seen, in your life. I thought you mentioned this with your foundation as well. Then wanting to be better, not only for yourself, your family, but for the others. For the community. You said the community grew us.
It's big, 100%.
What can we do for them, actually? So I think it's a lot,
it speaks to
what he's saying as well.
to leadership.
Purpose.
Yes, the purpose.
That's what I encourage people to the most. Find your purpose first before.
Definitely.
Because if you dream, if your purpose, if you think this is your purpose, I want to make it out of the township, I want to buy myself a house, I want to make money. You're going to get that in the first few years
That's
of your
true.
career.
And then what?
That's your ceiling.
And then what?
Then you're done. What drives you even more? And I mean, for us, coming from Makasi, we know what the struggle is like.
True.
Exactly.
our purpose should be, how does the next generation not suffer like I
That's so
suffered?
true.
How do I use my platform
Definitely.
for that? And it's not just in sport. We arts and culture must.
That's so
Yes.
true.
We are one now.
We're one.
You know?
Yeah.
So how about we host an event where you are performing, we're gonna sit and do
Yeah.
this and talk, you know,
Definitely.
combine.
Exactly.
The world makes us like, it's like there's not enough for all of us to eat.
Yeah.
There's so
plenty.
Yeah, but we don't like sharing, but we grow up
Definitely.
sharing.
It's because we
You know?
work in silos.
100%.
We're not supposed to. We're
Yeah.
supposed to come together. And I like
100%.
what you touched on because, and Siya, you mentioned it as well. Purpose.
Yeah.
I think when you mentioned when Rachel came into your life and
Yeah.
you were expecting your first child, that gave you that purpose
Yeah, the
to
drive.
actually take the lead, you know, and make sure that your family is sorted, your life is sorted. With you as well, you know,
Yeah.
condolences with the passing of your
Yeah, yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
But that scenario put you in a position
True, definitely.
where you became a leader.
Yeah.
So you were a leader at home.
True.
So yes, you were excelling on the field, on the court, but you had a greater purpose to
Definitely.
fulfill at home,
Yeah,
to look
definitely.
after the family.
Responsibility.
That's where that leadership comes in. And I love what we're all talking about in terms of the next generation
Yeah.
and how we can work together to make sure they don't face the same challenges we face, right?
Yeah.
What advice would you give the next generation of athletes and entertainers who are at the cusp of becoming the next generation sports stars? You know, when they find themselves in the situation you were in just as you're about to make it, what advice would you have for them from a financial point of
Yeah.
view, from a discipline point of view, from a dealing with fame and stardom point of view?
So
Yeah.
I'm very passionate with development, sports development. So I've been running a successful tournament for 9 years now.
Yes.
And obviously it's a football tournament. The focus is that, but we're using the tournament as a vehicle as well to drive social news
Yeah.
and bring about positive change. So it's no longer a football thing, it's a community thing.
Yes.
You know, it involves community. We try and give opportunities as well to unemployed
Yeah.
citizens as well. But on the players' perspective, you know, we want them to love the game first, to
Yes.
fall in love
Yeah.
with the game, to know that they're in a safe place,
Yeah.
happy place, happy
Yeah.
environment. They are not stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and after that, we also teach them that it's not only on the field,
Yeah.
it's off the field.
Yeah.
There's life after this. And this sport, you know, it's broad. Don't see the
Definitely.
90 minutes. You know, it goes beyond that.
It's bigger than that.
There's plenty
Yeah.
of opportunities as well. Yes, we love good things. I want this, I want that. But patience and time. And when it comes to finances, our tournament, like the winners, we don't give money. It's development. We want these kids to be passion-driven,
Yep.
not money-driven.
Yeah.
That's a
You can't have
true.
under 15s playing
Worry
for
about-
money.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like going all out for money. No.
Yes.
Let it be the passion first, and then the education will
That's
come.
so true.
Once you get to a certain level, then you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what you need to do. So that's what I do, and I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, yeah. Thank you for doing that. That's what our sports needs. We need passionate people
Yeah.
to reignite the passion and to make sure that the next gen is hyped up and they got the passion for the sport. Siya, what would you say? What would you say to the next gen, to the next Siyas?
No,
the next.
I think he said it all. But it's like for me, like someone that's here today, like a kid that's here, I want him to look at him, look at her, young girl or boy, look at me and see and look at the environment. No electricity, maybe no water, no food,
Yeah.
no money. They're struggling with everything. They can still dream to be here
That's true.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've shown
Yeah.
that it's possible.
Yes.
Where my dream and what I was thinking about was when I'm gonna get my next meal or when I'm gonna have this and that. I'm worried about. I'm not thinking about my future. They can start thinking because we were in the mindset of survival. How do I get through today?
That's true.
They can start dreaming, even if they don't see it. They can look at us and say we'll get there because they also come from here because our mindset here is so day-to-day driven. Let's just get through today, you know, with our parents. And also, like, have the wildest dreams because that you mustn't be able to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
It must be impossible. Like this, the things that I want to do are what drives me every day. I want to end hunger, like poverty. I want to end gender-based violence. I want to make sure in sports and education, that's what my foundation looks after. I want to make sure the school in the suburbs looks exactly like the school in the township. And the kid in the township can have a choice whether to make it from the township or from the suburb. It's his choice to make that. That's my goal. I probably won't achieve that in my lifetime. It's impossible for me to achieve it. But at least I'm gonna have something to chase each and every single day. And that's why I wanna make sure, that's what I wanna be remembered for. Not the trophies, but rugby gives me this platform. Rugby gives me that. That's why it's so important.
I love that mentality of like, I might not be able to achieve it all, but I'm still gonna take a swing at it. As long as I can get to a certain point, you know? And hopefully what I've done will
Pass on.
I'll pass it on. I want to know, guys, since I have captaincy royalty here, I want to know whose responsibility is it for the development of the next generation? Is the onus on us? Is the onus on you as the people in sports who go out and make it big to then come back and rebuild those structures in the communities that we come from?
I think probably, and just before I touch on that, to back, my brothers here, if you think of in terms of us in sports, we gotta have to think of as an athlete, work on yourself first. I always feel like that's the biggest achievement you can do. Because if you work on your skill, if you on court, off court, and you work on yourself in terms of academics, work on yourself in everything that you can. It gives you, like all I have, I know it comes from my hard work. There is nothing that comes, that people are just going to say, here, have it. It comes from the work that you've put in, and we might not share, the things that we do behind the scenes in terms of building ourselves, but there's a lot that we have to do to get to where we are. And with that, then the opportunities comes. I find it interesting with the kids that are coming up in sport, the end result is what they look for first compared to what work have you done, to improve yourself so the end result can be much easier, or you can get as much as you want.
There's that idea of making it that's attached to money. I can't wait to make it so I can
make money.
And we spoke about passion already. But if you think about now, who to take on the role in terms of the next generation, who to help, I think that's in all of us. There shouldn't be a person attached to it, because then we're all looking at this person. What are you as an individual, what you are doing? And I can proudly say, sitting here and listening to all of us talking, everyone has something they're doing to give back. Can we have the rest? Can we have everyone else having something? Imagine if each and every one of, every person who has the powers to actually, you said when we were sitting earlier on, even if you buy something extra from your grocery,
at the shop,
it will help someone, just one person. So if we can all have that mentality, not just to upskill in terms of sport. What did you do to influence the other life? What did you do to influence the next person? I think it's in all of us. I don't think it should be attached to any person.
100%.
Just to touch on what Siya was talking about earlier, with this whole mentality of paying it forward and the whole spirit of Ubuntu. We spoke about the idea that a lot of people think that they need to get to a position of power before they can start helping.
That's
and you disagree with that completely.
I disagree. Then I wouldn't be here today. Because Erickson Whitley Mawawa was a school teacher at Lokshin. He decided to coach rugby, and he was coaching school, and he went out of his way for me. I couldn't afford the transport. He would go and fetch me and take me to trials. He didn't have to do that, He decided to do that. And that's why I say, like, we have the platform, we have to use it. Yes. But if you are Usekasi, you can coach. And sometimes, like, some of my coaches didn't get paid. They just did it for the love of it. Just being a positive influence to someone is important, because remember, when you're in the township, when you're playing sport, how much trouble it takes you away from. Because when you're bored and not doing anything, that's when it's easy for the other guys to invite you over. Hey, come. And they have money. The gangsters, they have money to give to you. That it's easy money, but you lose yourself
That's so
along the
true.
way, or you lose your
lose
life
the
along the way.
focus.
So that's my thing, is that if every South African can focus, first, like she said, look after yourself first.
Yeah.
Get yourself to the best place,
True.
mentally and physically, and do the
Whatever
best that you
way,
can to be
yeah.
in the best place. Then you start thinking, okay, your loved ones, you look after them, cousin. Then how do you influence other people
Yeah.
when you make it? That's why I say the next generation should be thinking of, they need to, okay, I want to make it, I want to do this, provide for my
Yeah.
family, but I also, how do I make an impact in South Africa?
Yeah.
How do I help
Yeah.
the next person? Okay, where can I fund? Or what can I start? Whose bursary can I play?
Yeah.
I always make it as simple
Sure.
as this. If you have a house and you have someone that helps you, like Umama,
Yeah.
that raises your children, she as a child that goes to school in the township, how about you pay for school fees for the child,
The next
so that
one.
the kids tomorrow doesn't look the same as the mothers. You know what I mean? So that the mother knows it's giving up, because at the end of the day, they are raising our children.
That's true.
But what are we doing to help them? Because they're away from all the children all day long.
Yeah.
We give them minimum wage, and they're not able to provide a better life. The kids just go to normal education. You know, there's so many things that we can all do, but the mentality has to be put South Africa first. Yes, do you look after you? Put South Africa first, and we all work towards the same direction.
Definitely.
Guys, talking about putting South Africa first, would you say in the townships that we come from, in the neighborhoods that we come from, are we doing all that we can to make sure that sports development is happening in those areas?
No,
No.
no. We can definitely do more.
Hey, this is a sore point. This is a very sore point.
My football tournament.
Yes.
Right. So it's taking place in Piri. I'm from Piri in Soweto.
Yes.
It's been 9 years now.
Yeah.
At the same venue where I used to play when I was still 8, 9, 10, still the same. It's just gravel field. It's still the same. Nothing has been improved. There's nothing. So when I don't do that tournament, an annual tournament, right, there's nothing happening, right? And also to show, you know, the influence, the impact, the tournament that it has. It has also, you know, attracted teams as far as Cape Town, Eastern Cape. Now they're coming to play. So there's a need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So
You
if
play in gravel
yeah.
now.
Till today.
Today. So if we can stop saying position of power and start saying position of responsibility,
Yeah.
That's so
then
true.
we'll see the need.
That is so true.
We'll see the need.
Hello.
And you can't be.
Talk that talk.
Talk that talk, Shaba.
I'm a product of grassroots football. You've got Renee.
Out of grassroots,
grassroots.
Yeah.
and there's no
They
grass.
come from there,
Yeah.
right? So imagine if we're
Yeah.
proper.
But do you hear what we're
Grass
talking
road, there's
about?
no grass.
I come from a
There
grassroots
he
level,
goes again.
but we're playing on gravel. It shouldn't be this
That's
way.
grassroots development. Yeah.
Yes.
But there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's still nothing. It's 2024.
Sure.
We're still crying about
Yeah.
the same thing.
Definitely.
Okay, I can hear cries, but what can we do?
Okay,
Right? As a collective,
yeah.
what
Okay.
can we do?
Make a change in your corner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Do the little bit that you can
That's
on
true.
your corner.
Yes.
We're gonna do the grass.
I love that.
We're gonna
yes.
do the grass.
Yes.
We're gonna do the
Yes.
grass. Alright,
Yes.
we're gonna do the grass.
Yes.
So for your field, so we can call it grassroots.
Yeah. Now it's
For you. Now it's just you
Not the
bad,
concrete
bro.
roof.
Okay, but I'm serious. I've
Yes.
done one with my clothing brand,
Yeah.
Funeral Movement.
Yeah.
We did one in Ekapa. So now the next project I do,
So wait.
so when the so too.
Come on.
Oh.
Talk that talk, Siya.
You must talk.
Talk about position of
You're not allowed to come.
But talking about
not-
leadership
You're not
as well.
allowed to come.
Leadership.
I have to do this
I want
remote
the
cutting.
grassroots. They mustn't cut that part. I want to eat. I want to eat.
Yo, see, I want to commend you because this is what we talking about. Talk that
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
This is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting amongst us here, there are things we know we can do.
Yeah.
From a
100%.
personal
Yeah.
capacity, but also from the brands that we work with and the people
Yeah.
that we work with.
Exactly.
We can align and go, this might not be what I'm aligned with, but I know Shaba's doing this.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
And we can move this to make sure
Yeah.
that there's grass, to make sure that there's kids.
But you know what my goal is? Because I know she does netball.
Yes.
And I know he does soccer. And obviously, my foundation does all the sports,
Yeah.
everything. Like, I want to take that. Imagine now with his tournament, if we can include rugby.
Yeah.
Let's say I start the rugby tournament in the Eastern Cape,
Yeah.
the netball. We have all of that.
Yeah.
3 of us, we can easily
Run,
do that
you
on
know.
that day.
Yeah.
You know, we have mini, like a sevens rugby tournament.
That's
We have a
true.
netball.
Yeah.
Right next to there, we can
Do a 5-a-side.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
Definitely.
outside that, he's doing something great. I want to, if I say I'm for South Africa, if I can help,
Back up. Yeah.
I must back that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I can definitely
Leading
help.
by action.
That's
100%,
true.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's easy stuff like our branded freedom movement. Yes, we want to sell clothes. We want to, and the thing is, the brand can only grow
Yeah.
overseas because of the people.
That's
the
true.
people support us. How do we
That's
give
true.
back? So we made a shoe with me and them, and we built a rugby field, or like a sports field in
Yeah.
Begweni
Yeah.
Township. So now we're gonna go
That's
to
true.
football, and then if she needs a netball court,
Yeah.
then we do a
set it
netball
up.
court. You know.
And I think the value in that is the power of, I guess, people coming
How's
together.
that stomach? Yeah.
It's the pop.
Black label.
Sitting on this side. The pop is my wheel alignment is off. Yes, so Uti, this is small.
Yes, my teeny taxi.
No more pop before the interview.
Should we get strings to attach this guy?
Yeah, just to hold him.
I think we also need to realize how powerful we can be as a team.
As a
We spoke
unit.
about
100%.
us being leaders and not just to think of ourselves. And the fact that we've been put in these positions, been doing so much work
Yes.
that probably a lot of people are aware of and some are not. Imagine if in sync, there's a kind of thing that we
100%,
just
yeah.
move together and we're like, this is us probably jointly together and this is what we're doing. And not for ourselves, but for those coming after us. So I think we take lightly the things that we sit, like
100%,
these positions,
yeah.
we
And
sit
the
here in this
influence.
chat.
Yeah.
Influence.
It
Yeah.
can come out with so much more than just us who are put in the position to talk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just loving the idea of imagine what it can do for the next generation. And
100%,
we're all
yeah.
so passionate about that
Yeah.
idea. So
And
yeah,
you know
there's
what
a
it
lot
takes
more.
away as well?
Yeah,
That sense that I'm competing against him.
definitely.
I'm not competing
No
against him.
ways, yeah, true.
There's enough
The
for all
game
of
is
us on the
competitive,
table.
but
Do you
outside the
understand?
game, we're supposed to
Yes,
build each other.
100%.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That we can play the same sport and still help each other.
That's so
you know,
true.
Exactly.
when we talk about Ubuntu, you know, we forget those things. We grow up with those things,
Yeah.
but we forget them along the way.
True.
It's so important that we understand that
Can't lose that.
you can't lose that. Those are.
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke about it earlier. Like Mate Damon spoke about that in his interview. I mean, not Mate Damon and Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
He spoke about. He came to South Africa, did a movie, and
that's
he
the one
couldn't
thing that
believe.
stuck with him.
Yeah, that stuck with him about Ubuntu, and we forget.
Definitely.
That's why my foundation, we're big on collaborating. We believe we cannot make the impact that we want to make alone.
Yeah.
We can't. So we work with other foundations. So let's say we want to do something in Joburg, or you do something great in Joburg. We're not gonna go there and tell you what to do. We're gonna
work
tell
with
you
you.
how can we help.
Yeah.
How can
Oh,
we
you need
partner?
funding, yeah.
Yeah.
If we are capable and you're doing something, that's how we do.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing that
Yeah,
people want. When we're divided, we're in trouble.
that's so true.
And it's not a competition.
Yep.
South Africa is the winner.
Yep.
Then we all win.
Yes.
We are all fighting social issues differently, and that's another big thing.
Yeah.
There are so many different social issues.
But
you
we
don't
are
need the same
winning.
people to be saying the
Yep,
same things.
That's
Yes.
I grew up in the township. The issues that affect the township
not
impact
the
me a
same.
lot. I understand them. It's authentic to me. I can speak about it. If someone grew up in a farm, I understand what they're saying. That, and just because we're talking about two different things, it doesn't mean we're against each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we want the best for South Africa.
That's
We want the
true.
best for humanity. That's what we need to know. We can actually stand together and fight for different things, but
is
we're
so
all
true.
fighting for South Africa at the end of the day.
That's so
but
true.
people tend to want us to be divided or these
Yes.
different. No, this is more important.
About
than-
me.
It can't be. We're all different human
about me.
beings. Yeah, it's about what matters to you as a
Yeah.
person. As long as what you're standing for doesn't hurt another human being.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Beautiful words from a beautiful man.
Camera angle.
Yeah.
I'll put it. Yeah.
Get the left side. Scorer.
Boxer.
Your medium side.
Where's the Wakanda?
Wakanda.
So you Wakanda and you boxer style.
Everything. All in one.
Unomvusa,
man.
man. Unomvusa, man.
Hey,
Yo, guys, thank you so
I'm
much,
Don't
man.
focus. You're doing well.
Thank
I'm
you so
sorry,
much.
I'm sorry.
Look, we could go on forever, and I'm gonna keep to what you said. Let's lead through action.
Yep.
I think doing a tournament like that, where we support each other, where sports can come together with entertainment, you know, we could have entertainment, we could have sports, different sporting tournaments, just to do stuff that's gonna reignite the passion in everything that we do and bring all our people under one roof.
Yeah.
To see them, see us collaborating
Yeah.
and working together. If you need a commentator, we'll call.
Yeah.
Zimbin Siya Kolisi, Mpho Tshabalala, Bongi Msomi, Tshabalala!
I will never forget that.
Never.
A goal for South Africa. A goal for the whole of Africa.
Then in the stands, we hugging each other.
Unity. Oh,
I'm telling you, whether they like it or not, we won the World Cup.
Yes.
Just with that
Your
goal.
goal won us the
We
World
didn't
Cup.
need to play
You need the rest
anymore.
of the game.
We won that game.
According to us.
Oh,
won the
you told for what?
Yeah.
We scored there.
Yeah.
If we was
and it was the
here,
first World Cup goal, so it's us. We won.
it's done.
It's us. Ask Zaku.
Yeah.
See, we need a team.
High five.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Unplugged.
Oh.
Thank you to our three captains. Let's hear it for Tshabalala, Siya Kolisi, and Bongi Msomi.